Should I care about bad breath?
I think you should, Alex. And look, from an options context, the reason is because this bad breath or this narrow breadth, it really messes with volatility. It messes with how you look at correlation in the markets, and thereby it messes with what options seem to tell you. It seems to tell you that things are resilient when the reality is there can be very violent rotations under the surface that is masked because of the narrowness of breadth in the market right now.
Amy, there's a case, isn't there, though, that this is money that's being locked up for a point where investors have that increased risk appetite and they start to put that to play more broadly across these markets. The money markets, we know, are flush with cash as well. So that's another potential catalyst. What are the areas, what could be the trigger for that change? And why is that maybe questionable as a proposition?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I would say one of the potential triggers, which to be fair, we have already seen, is FOMO. And when you think about FOMO, just, the momentum begetting momentum, it really exacerbates itself on the option side. So look, NVIDIA obviously had blowout earnings, that I don't want to take anything away from that. But what was exacerbated on top of that was the demand for call option buying. That, this is the same exact phenomenon that we saw in GameStop, that we saw in AMC, that we saw in Salesforce. And what happens is options is a mechanism to magnify FOMO. And when that happens, you can get such outsized moves that it also forces other people who are under allocated to pay attention.
So Amy, where else are you noticing that kind of action right now? Or was it just like an NVIDIA thing, or is it a broad NASDAQ 100 thing, or is there other stocks you're watching with that dynamic?
Yeah, it's funny, Alex, because, we actually had thought for most of this year that phenomenon had kind of gone away, as the risk-free rate got higher, there's this real alternative. And so what has really surprised me is time and time again, the equity market can get stuck to a narrative that they really like, and that FOMO still returns. And we saw that with NVIDIA, but we also saw that with AMD. We also saw that with Meta. We see it with AI beneficiary stocks where, the equity market latches on to a theme it really likes. And you, in particular, see it in these mega cap tech names over and over again, especially in the last 5 years.